How do I feel now that my time is coming to a close? Shocked, not because it's ending, but because of everything that's happened and how much my path changed at the LBJ school.
I was teaching English in Japan for 2 years, but I felt it was not enough for me. I definitely want to become a part of the process to make a change and solve any issues in the world.
People have always been my passion. I started my career as a registered nurse, and it really opened my eyes to the power of policy. It is exciting to see that there's a space for me in local government where my skills can make a difference.
I really thought I'm going to go to grad school and I'll do a thesis and then I'll become a foreign service officer or do some research for the US government. But when space policy crossed my path, I didn't close the door on it. I had no idea that would change the course of my career for the rest of my life. So the pandemic hit about halfway through my first year. That was terrifying.
The whole world changed during that time. Being a nurse during the COVID era was a great practice in change management. It was learning how to deal with things constantly changing and really seeing vulnerability in a different way. There's a tendency to shy away from the challenge, and yet the only way to really get through it is to do it.
Well, welcome everyone. I hope you're doing well.
The whole experience really illustrated the agility and flexibility of the LBJ school community, people's willingness to roll with the punches and continue to try to preserve a sense of community in a really trying time.
On my screen, you and Sherry Greenberg are next to each other right now.
Everybody was attending virtual happy hours, trying to coordinate safe hangouts in parks or outdoors, sending articles or texting or just doing what we could to continue supporting each other the way that we would have if we were in person.
Bye!
I don't think we all would have been able to make it or graduate school without that.
Got my nursing degree, moved down here.
It's been nice to see the LBJ community kind of bloom again, come back.
You can obviously just study, but networking is definitely important. That kind of interactions outside of school definitely helped me build confidence and feel comfortable during class.
Having peers who were so open to my ideas, even if they were as out there as outer space, really freed me up to be creative and innovative and explore these new ideas that made me really excited. I love space and I want to be a part of helping to protect it for future generations.
I definitely learned how to be strong as a woman, as a student of color, and as a first-generation college student. I know I can make a change in this world, and I cannot wait to help build a better society for everyone.
Not only am I graduating with 2 degrees, I'm leaving with a strengthened sense of resiliency, a better understanding of the importance of collaboration and community, and a job.
I know what it's like to sit with people in really vulnerable situations, ones that they don't expect. And I see public policy as an opportunity to meet people where they are. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity that I can connect to people. I was a registered nurse, and now I'm a policy professional.
I'll walk across the stage, I'll flip my tassel to the other side. I'll probably remain in a deep state of shock for a little while, but then I'll probably get straight back to trying to make creative solutions for really hard problems.
Good morning. LBJ graduates and families, and good morning to our faculty, staff, and friends. I'm JR DeShazo, Dean of the LBJ School of Public Affairs here at the University of Texas at Austin. You did it. Congratulations, and we are here. Woo! It's my pleasure to welcome you and to celebrate our exceptional class of 2022. Graduates, this day is for you. Today we bring together your family, friends, classmates in celebration of your accomplishments. Now, some of those family members and friends in the audience may still be wondering what public policy is. What exactly have you been studying these last few years, and what are you going to do with the rest of your life? Let me offer an insight to those folks that are still wondering. While businesses can supply some of the things that we all need, other critical services and protections can only be supplied collectively through our democratic elected government. As President Johnson said, the purpose of government is to do for others what they cannot do for themselves. Examples of these vital public services include things like the provision of the national defense, public education, healthcare, affordable housing, Social Security, the management of our macroeconomy. And it's also government's job to protect our most basic liberties and civil rights related to voting, free speech, privacy, freedom from discrimination. And it's public policies that determine how effectively government provides our citizens with these essential services and these vital protections. And our graduates here today will help design, implement, evaluate, and develop new vital policies. Some of our graduates will enter public service in federal, state, or local government. Some will serve and lead nonprofits. Still others will enter businesses to focus on public policies designed to ensure that markets benefit society. Graduates, each of you have followed a different path to reach this moment today. All of you now travel a shared path ahead, one of public leadership and service. And I thank you for making the investments that you have made in yourself as you prepare for your journey. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you our Associate Dean for Academic Strategies, Dr. Catherine Weaver.
Good morning, y'all. How you doing? Okay. You didn't leave me in the place in the program. Okay, here we go. So each year during commencement, we recognize individuals who have made extraordinary contributions in their role as a student at the LBJ School. It is now my pleasure to announce these 4 awards. The first award is the LBJ Foundation Award for Academic Excellence. The Lyndon B Johnson Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports the LBJ Presidential Library and the LBJ School of Public Affairs. Each year, the LBJ Foundation presents a student with the highest grade point average of their graduating class with an award to celebrate their outstanding academic achievements. This year, I would like to announce the winner of the Lyndon B Johnson Foundation Award for Academic Excellence, Jack McCormick. Okay. Congratulations, Jack, yes. The second award is the Redford Award. Since 1976, the Emmette S. Redford Award for Outstanding Research has been awarded to a member of the graduating class for outstanding original research in the form of a professional report or other original work that is of practical significance to policymakers. A childhood friend of the president, Emmette Redford taught at UT Austin for 40 years before joining the LBJ School as one of the school's 5 original faculty members. The 2022 recipient of the Emmette S. Redford Award for Outstanding Research is Claire Kane. Is Claire here? She's in DC, okay, because she already has a great job, surprise. So Claire is a dual degree student in the Masters of Global Policy Studies and the Energy and Earth Resources program. And just a quick note about Claire's thesis, it was titled Disparate Exposure to Fine Particulate Air Pollution in Formerly Red-Line Cities, Chicago, Dallas, and Fort Worth. It is original and timely work of research. In her report, she explored the important policy area, namely the relationship of government housing policy on environmental policy outcomes, and ultimately uncovered the public health of its citizens resulting from exposure to fine particulate matter pollution. So some really great stuff. Congratulations to Claire. We wish her best wishes in DC. Okay. The Redford Committee also wanted to acknowledge 2 other nominees who were highly rated for this award. So if you would just mind standing. So Jessica Jones. Jessica wrote her thesis on when neighbors prepare together, an analysis of emergency preparedness efforts at the neighborhood scale. And the second is Michael Kiel. And Michael wrote his report, very timely one, on Russia and Serbia, development partner or Balkan ghost. I hope that's not too prescient, Michael. Okay. The third award I'm happy to announce today is the inaugural Graduate Teaching Assistant Award. This year, the LBJ School is also honoring one student with this new Graduate Teaching Assistant Award to recognize the outstanding contributions that GTAs make to our learning environment. The recipient of this award demonstrates critical self-reflection on teaching effectiveness and innovation in teaching methods, and offers examples of commitment to student learning. The inaugural recipient of the 2022 Graduate Teaching Assistant Award is Eun-Young Kim. So Eun-Young served as a GTA 7 times for some of our toughest courses: microeconomics, introduction to empirical methods, analytical methods, and evaluation methods. The many students who nominated her note her incredible generosity with her time and patience, as well as her distinct knack for explaining the inexplicable to even the most methods phobic of her students. We congratulate Eun-Young on her extraordinary start to her teaching career and wish her luck as she prepares for the defense of her doctoral dissertation this summer. Congratulations. The GTA Award Committee also wishes to make an honorable mention of one more notable GTA, Chandy Blurton. Chandy, you're here? You can just stand. As many of you know, Chandy experienced one of the GTA's worst nightmares. Just before the microeconomics midterm exam, the class professor suffered a major medical emergency. Chandy stepped in, literally, it was about midnight, wasn't it, Chandy? And went above and beyond the call of duty in getting the class back on track and leading students successfully through the midterm and the rest of the semester. We thank you, Chandy, for the extraordinary service. And finally, our fourth award is the Best Student Data Science Project. And this is also a new award we give this year. It is a great pleasure to announce that the inaugural winner of this award is Fatima Alzabi. Fatima's project was entitled The Impacts of Maternal Literacy and Participation Programs in India, Replication and Original Analysis on Attrition and Father Impacts. She did this project as part of Dr. Raisa Fabregas's course on evaluation methods for global development. Congratulations, Fatima. And finally, it's my honor to introduce Michael Kiel to give the class gift. The class gift is a long-standing tradition at the LBJ School of Public Affairs. Each year for over 30 years, the senior class votes to fund an initiative that is a point of passion for the class. I'm very pleased to introduce you to Michael Kiel, a dual degree global policy studies and Russian, East European, and Eurasian studies student at the LBJ School. This year, Michael served as class gift chair and as the finance director for the LBJ School Student Government, the Graduate Public Affairs Council. Michael, welcome. Пожалуйста.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do call and response. So I'm honored to present the 2022 class gift today. And to begin my remarks, I would like to share a quote from Lyndon B Johnson himself, who once said, "There are no problems we cannot solve together, and very few that we can solve by ourselves." This year, the LBJ Student Government solicited ideas from our community for a class gift. We decided that the best use of our time and energy would be to support the existing activism of students on campus and to thank their efforts. So specifically, we have the following students to thank for starting the UT Outpost Satellite Food Pantry at LBJ in 2021. They are Emily Ibarra, Emmy DeChico, Kara Cook, Krista Gelhausen, and Stephen Fox. Among others. Since today is about the more the merrier as well, I would also like to thank Dr. Patel, or Raj, as his students know him, for his dedicated activism and compassion at the LBJ School, teaching our community about food, life, and equity. And in this dedication, we could also include faculty like Dr. Kate, Dr. Lentz, and Dr. Fabregas for their important work in this field. And yeah, sure. So we've been collecting donations for the past month and a half to help stock the food pantry with non-perishable goods. As of this morning, I think we've raised $817, which is great. And many students have also given in kind over the year as well. However, if you can, I encourage you to use the link or QR code in the program if there is one, or the link that's in the email to contribute to the class gift today. Together, we can build LBJ's great society and MLK's beloved community one step at a time at our own school. In closing, I want to thank you all for your support and leave you with an old Macedonian proverb, of course. And it goes, if my neighbor is happy, my own work will go easier too. With this gift, we hope to celebrate each other, to expand educational access, and to care for one another once we arrive at this school. Thank you all again, and congratulations.
It's my pleasure now to introduce you to the 2022 class speaker, Chelsi Chang. Chelsi was nominated and elected by her peers for this honor. She's a Master's in Public Affairs graduate specializing in education policy. She came to us after working in the college access space, and she returned to graduate school to learn more about our educational system and how to improve access for low-income, first-generation students and students of color. As many of you know, she has been the model of a public service example. She served on various diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives while at LBJ, including the Graduate Public Affairs Council, specifically the DEI Committee, as well as the student representative on the faculty DEI Committee. And she finished her final year as the co-chair of the Policy Alliance for Communities of Color. Chelsi is a first-generation student from Jamaica, and very proud of it, and the first person in her immediate family to graduate with a master's degree. Those who know Chelsi know that her influence at the LBJ School will be long-lasting, and she will continue to make an impact on Texas and beyond. Please join me in welcoming Chelsi to the stage.
Actually, sorry. I'm high tech here. Oh, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dean DeShazo, for such a wonderful introduction. I'd first like to start by thanking the LBJ faculty and staff for putting together such a beautiful space for us to gather and celebrate a momentous moment in our lives. Thank you. Fellow LBJ graduates, we finally made it. Our journey was anything but easy, and today, right now, represents the crescendo of all of our stress, tears, and policy memos. Moments like these are so important. As graduate students, we are so accustomed to the constant hustle and bustle of grad school, we often forget to realize just how special it is to persist, to finish, and to achieve. So I invite you all to take a moment to bask in the glow of your hard work. It takes a special group of people to do what we've done, and I genuinely believe that. We are special. I believe that the 51st graduating class of the Lyndon B. Johnson School of Public Affairs is one of the most caring, brilliant, talented, and dedicated group of people I have ever met. But you know, I may be a little biased. But seriously, think about it. Many of us decided to enter grad school when the thick smog of an unknown pandemic blurred the road that lay ahead. We remained in grad school when we locked our doors to the outside world to protect ourselves and our loved ones. We remained in grad school when suffering and death was all around us. And rather than ensconce ourselves in the sorrows of this painful truth, we ventured into the unknown with shiny goals. We chose to pursue knowledge, truth, and democracy. And I think that says something about all of us, about our deep sense of responsibility to our community and our willingness to adhere to our convictions. We knew the road ahead would be long, winding, and jagged. We knew schooling would look vastly different than the years prior. We knew our job prospects would be affected by a constantly evolving pandemic. Now that I say it out loud, actually we might be a little crazy. Joking aside, we simply decided that the issues we cared about were far too important to let another moment go by without intervention. We decided that our community, our country, our world needed another set of hands to nurture it. What strength that takes, what resilience, and what love. And then we actually entered grad school. And our optimism was met with the rigors of a top public policy education. Graduates, I invite you to close your eyes. Actually, close your eyes, do it. And remember your first day of school. For many of us, it was 2 years ago today. I invite you to remember what it felt like sitting in your first LBJ classroom, probably also known as your bedroom. Do you remember the flutter in your stomach as you pressed the blue launch meeting button on Zoom? Yeah. Do you remember that all too familiar feeling of becoming a sponge once more, alive to do little more than learn? Do you remember that? Do you remember how you felt the first few weeks as you embraced LBJ as your new home? I'll remind you. I asked our classmates to tell me what you remember feeling when you started grad school. All the answers boiled down to symptoms of imposter syndrome. They expressed a deep fear that people would find out that we weren't as qualified as people thought we were. A lot of us entered LBJ with the same 3 thoughts. Number 1, I don't know enough about anything. Number 2, I couldn't do it being finishing grad school. And number 3, I didn't belong here. After 2 glorious and challenging years here at the LBJ School for dual degrees, probably more, I reflect on these initial thoughts many of you shared. I believe that there's some merit to that gut feeling, albeit with some important caveats that serve us far beyond our time here at LBJ. Number 1, I don't know enough about anything. I remember sitting in Dr. Wong's economics class, my first class, and yeah, you know why you're laughing. my first class in grad school, and listening to Pat lovingly tell us that these economic concepts were simple, digestible, and intuitive. They weren't. In fact, I still wince when I hear the word intuitive. And I remember actually crying after my first class, questioning why in the world the LBJ school would accept me. I remember listening to my classmates discuss environmental policy, global policy, economic policy, and everything in between, and I felt so small. Everyone was smarter than me. Everyone had more experience, better responses to class discussions, and a seemingly encyclopedic knowledge of current political issues. So here's the caveat. I don't know enough about anything, but I can learn. It was all of you who pushed me to learn more. There is a beauty in this honest humility. We can never be smart enough to solve every policy problem, but we can develop an insatiable curiosity about the world that can serve us and the people we aim to serve. We can be brave enough, passionate enough, open enough to ask questions, to learn, and to grow. Number 2, I couldn't do it. Spoiler alert, you did do it, you're here. But part of that's right. We couldn't do it alone. And luckily, we didn't have to. Through thousands of tiny pixels on a screen and countless awkward happy hours where no one drank, seriously, what was up with that? Do you guys remember? We made lifelong friends who supported us when we needed to commiserate about problem sets or job prospects. I spent my first year in grad school as a full-time Zoom student, and I was worried if I'd be able to connect with my peers in a meaningful way. I had to schedule Zoom hangouts with my friends. It was really awkward. But people were patient, and they were willing. These friends became the people who rode the peak highs and the crushing lows with us throughout our time here. The bonds we formed can never be replaced, nor replicated. No one else will never ever know what it feels like to submit a PFM final at the 99th hour, knowing you missed at least 3 questions. The time and care we took cultivating this garden of love is one of the best things that I will take from the LBJ school. I'm not sure how you measure all the love we've shared, but if I had to measure it, I'd measure it in the food that my friends brought me while I was studying, or the emergency venting sessions in parked cars, or softballs thrown at games, or in sacred stories about our values and why we chose to enter policy school in the first place. I've not only experienced all of these acts of love, but I've witnessed them. These are what pushed us through. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our other cheerleaders. Grads, I invite you, it might be a little hard, but try to find your family in the crowd and say a little thank you to them. To all of you in the audience, to the moms, dads, tios, significant others, abuelos, mentors, we couldn't have done this without you. It is you who helped shape the people we are, despite not calling enough as much as we should. We always return back to our foundations. In the midst of chaos of grad school, the classic life lessons, savory recipes, and colorful stories you offered us comfort and respite. To my own family, words cannot describe how grateful I am for your sacrifice, for your words of wisdom, precious time, and endless love. I'm here because of the road that you helped pave for me, and I hope to make you proud. And I'm really sorry for all the times I called crying about grad school. In short, we couldn't have done it without our families, both chosen and blood. Number 3, I don't belong here. This one actually has no caveat. It's true. We belonged here for a brief moment in time, but that itching feeling that we should not be here was our hearts grasping for something real. We don't belong in the hallowed halls of LBJ. We don't belong in the academic ivory tower. We belong on Capitol Hill, in local government, think tanks, school boards, and everywhere where decisions are made. Our training, our classes, and our experiences have prepared us for right here and right now. If we could go back in time and tell our previous insecure first-year selves what we were able to accomplish amidst ice storms, complete political upheaval, broken bones, and crisis simulations, they wouldn't believe how much we overcame. They'd probably also wonder how we figured out time travel. After that, they'd understand that their fears and anxieties would be met with bravery, community, and resourcefulness. But alas, hindsight is always 20/20. Instead, we can use our new lessons moving forward when we are in important positions in the field. As we start our careers as leaders, change makers, we have the humility to recognize that we are not the smartest people in the room. We value listening and learning from those who we aim to serve. We enter the field with friends, family, and colleagues who we can lean on when things are difficult. And we embrace the allure of doing the hard, messy, and sometimes thankless work of public service. It's time to step out of this building and into the future we envisioned when we stepped in. But with great knowledge and positions of power comes great responsibility. Future leaders of America, I urge you to uphold democracy, true democracy. I implore you to demand equity and justice for communities that don't look like you. Recognize that America is far from perfect, but we can do our part to make it better for everyone. I ask for you to remember what you learned and embrace your curiosity, openness, and compassion. Thank you for everything that you're going to do to make the world a better place. LBJ School of 2022, we are on the precipice of greatness. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you do in the field. Thank you.
All right, let's have one more round of applause for Chelsi. Now I'm honored to introduce you to the LBJ School's 2022 graduation speaker, Ambassador Vilma Martínez. A UT grad returning to us, Ambassador Martínez represents the best values of LBJ's legacy and of the LBJ School. She was a pioneering policy advocate when she became general counsel and then president of the Mexican-American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, MALDEF, and led that organization in its defense of civil rights for Latinos to several absolutely critical policy and legal successes. She then went on to a career of public service, serving on President Clinton's Trade Commission, and then in 2009 was asked by President Barack Obama to serve as the U.S. ambassador to Argentina. And while there, she was awarded the Order of May, which is Argentina's highest honor awarded to a foreign national, in recognition for her work on behalf of improving mutual cooperation and understanding between the two countries. She went on to even more public service, and I won't go through the long list, in her new home of California, where she was the chair of the Harbor Commission for the city of Los Angeles Port, which is the busiest port in the Western Hemisphere. She served for many years as a University of California regent and has had just such a storied list of contributions. And so, Ambassador Martínez, I thank you so much for joining us today. Would you all please join me in welcoming Ambassador Martínez to the podium?
Dean DeShazo, distinguished faculty, graduates of the LBJ School, family, and friends, my sincerest congratulations for all you have accomplished, especially during the stress of the pandemic. For someone at my stage of life and work, an occasion like this, before this audience, in this institution, calls up both the privileges which I have enjoyed and the challenges which I have faced in following the American dream. I have been reading about some of you and the work you plan to undertake to make change and strive for solutions in so many diverse fields. We saw some of them in the presentation: space policy, international security and development, and healthcare for our country, to mention just a few. This fills me with pride and anticipation. As someone who started out years ago, the way you will today, with the same dreams, and remembering the many disappointments and challenges along the way, it took me a while to decide what I might have to offer you on this day of celebration. So I'm warning you in advance. My thoughts are a bit on the serious side, but after all, I am a serious person, albeit with a modest sense of humor, probably not on display today. So here goes. Today, I want to talk about you. Not just you, but the America you will work in. One which has experienced an attempted coup, as opposed to a peaceful transfer of power, with the ensuing political divisions. So my question for you is, what is America? What is it? Before serving as United States Ambassador to Argentina, I had not lived outside our country. I was surprised by the fragility of the political and judicial systems I found there. Today, however, I worry about those same systems in our own country. You will be responsible for deciding what America is. As did all of you, I was taught in high school, in government classes on this campus and at Columbia Law School, that we have 3 equal branches of government and a free press. That our country was founded on the belief that all men are created equal and that we are entitled to equal protection before the law. With the exception of Native Americans, we are literally a nation of immigrants, committed to fashioning out of many indigenous and immigrant streams one nation under God. The precepts in our Constitution were the product of intense efforts by some of the greatest minds in this country. Although not perfect in many ways, notably the treatment of Blacks, Native Americans, and women, it fashioned a compromise structure with its checks and balances that has largely held us together for over 200 years. Of course, there is another requirement to make this system work, principally a commitment by the people of the country, and especially its rulers, to pay attention not only to this document, but to the rule of law. You will be graduates of the LBJ School of Public Affairs. President Johnson wanted equality for all. He instructed his Attorney General to stand on that principle. On March 15, 1965, President Johnson stood before the Congress of the United States to announce the introduction of what would become the Voting Rights Act of 1965. He uttered the famous line, and I quote, "I speak tonight for the dignity of man and the destiny of democracy," close quote. Further along that same speech, he reminded us this was the first nation in the history of the world to be founded with a purpose. We are going through a period where millions of Americans and much of one major political party have resorted to bypassing the rule of law for the sole purpose of seizing power illegally. As reported by the BBC in early January of 2021, 11 Republican senators and senators-elect, led by Ted Cruz and supported by Mike Pence, proposed a delay in the certifying of the election by the Senate, which is nothing more than a formality, in order to audit a few unsubstantiated and specious allegations of election fraud. The Trump Department of Justice had found virtually no basis for these claims of fraud. We have long been aware of imperfections in any democracy that may tilt the balance unfairly: gerrymandering, outsized use of money in political campaigns, political patronage, and other abuses. Right now, we are experiencing great turmoil, economic and otherwise. Instead of addressing this directly, however, too many of us find it more comfortable to sign on to fairy tales and other untruths which threaten our democratic fabric. So today I ask you, fellow UT graduates, never to forget that our democracy, built on its rules of law, is a delicate fabric for which we must care and cherish, not despise and ignore. It is now up to you to answer the question, what is America? My time is up. It is now yours. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Now, we will honor our graduates with the awarding of diplomas. I will be assisted by Associate Professor Lawrence Rade and Associate Dean Kate Weaver.
It's my honor to begin with Colonel Ryan Kendall, who has earned his doctorate in philosophy and public policy. In a special ceremony, Colonel Kendall will be hooded by his advisor, Dr. Jeremy Surrey. It's now my pleasure to present the Executive Masters of Public Leadership graduates. Karen Elizabeth Adler. Simone Fjeld-Benz. Caitlin Burke Butler. Katie Carpenter. Lisa Garcia. Joe Jandiala. Karina Lozoya. Albert Christopher Mendez. Dikibujuri Miller. Victoria Lynn Moe. It's now my pleasure to present our master's graduates. Michael David Kiel. Fatima Alzabi. Caitlin Anderson. Haley Marie Benedict. Ruby Bledsoe. Shandy Blurton. Thomas Boswell. Kathlena Brady. Mackenzie Bruner. Irving Calderon. Jennifer Camacho Pino. Jason Castillo. Vanessa Shebley. Amanda Chung. Cole Chisholm. Brett Anthony Collett. Kara Cook. Grant Allen Cook. Jordan Cooley. Caroline Corbett. Ryan Kramer. Drayton Cullen. Sarah Campbell. Destiny Diamante Moreno. Derek Cade Da Silva.
Go Derek.
Samuel Debuse. Sarah Dodemead. Maddie Donham. Elida Mellis Disichleger. Molly Ellsworth. Sarah E. Evers. Nicole Eversman. Christopher Fernandez. Joseph Flores. Kirsten Elise Gabriel. Gaurav Gore. Alyssa Louise Gessler. Aditya Golokota. Rachel Gossett. Rohit Dev Goswami. Rebecca Grandy. Philip Gurley. Sarah Hamill. Caroline Hahn. Brittany N. Head. Emily Catherine Hebel. Tara Lasher Hoke. Tynan Julia Holt. Madeline P. Jarman. Caroline Elise Jones. Jessica Marie Jones. Brendan Kennedy. Adelaide Kalmitz. Emily Landon. Christina Liu Puentes. Kwatakai Erlene Lockhart. Sandra Marielli Lopez. Morgan Lubino. Priscilla K. Lugo. Brenna Lyles. Jack McCormick. Laura May McCormick. Chelsi Chang. Aaron McDonald. Bryson Marquis McEachin. Meisha Mitu. Tim Montgomery. Brian Moore. Timothy Moore. Isabel Morford Shabab. Christina L. Maroney Ebarb. Kate Monroe. David Newman. Nina Nomura Nibbling. Kenneth Nienheiser. Pablo Pelatovics. Aaron C.R. Pepper. Sergio Plaza III. Ian W. Pugh. Elena Elise Purcell. Alessandra Rigo Derigi. Chelsi Rolfson. Alex Rose. Jean Sano Santana. Rebecca Shainzel. Christine Cantuda Snyder. Georgia Tamez. Andrea Renee Stanfill Castro. Natasha Thomas. Valerie Teropin. Elena Turnquist. Madeleine Irene Venn. Alex Walheim. Weston C. Weber. Kelsey Wingo. Jeremy John Workman.
What an amazing group of graduates. We are so proud of you guys. Graduates, in keeping with tradition, now that you have moved from candidate to graduate, I invite you to officially transition your tassel on your mortarboard from the right side to the left. I'm pleased to introduce you to the class of 2022. Graduates, today is a testament to the talents, passions, skills, and resiliency that you have cultivated in your time with us. And I have one last request for you. Ambassador Martínez talked about respecting the rule of law as a way of supporting our democracy. I would like to ask you to help strengthen and mend the human fabric of our democracy as you leave us today. Today, our public discourse is plagued by a kind of enemy politics, where political opponents villainize and dehumanize each other. And this leads us to even greater polarization and social isolation. A favorite saying of President Johnson was, "Come now, let us reason together." Indeed, democracy requires that we build majorities to improve public policy and to improve our communities. So while we have prided ourselves on teaching you many analytical skills, today I want to ask you to use your soft skills to mend the human fabric of our democracy as you go out and join society. You will meet people with differing policy and political positions. You will meet people who demean, dismiss, and even disrespect you. You will meet people who express racial, religious, sexist, and other forms of hate toward you. When you meet these people, fight the good fight for the great society that you're trying to advance. But please take pains to let these people know that you value them as humans. Show them dignity. Listen so that they know that you hear them. Connect with them so that they see that you see them and you understand them. We are counting on you, graduates, to help us mend the human fabric of our democracy so that we can reason together. We're asking you to model our values, to build bridges, and to find a way forward in our democracy. And now, in closing, one more thing. You are not just graduates of the LBJ School. You are also graduates of the University of Texas at Austin. Horns up! Congratulations, graduates!
Friends, family, and guests, please remain seated until students have left the auditorium. Thank you. Friends, family, and guests, please remain seated until students have left the auditorium.